What's going on here? There we go. And yes, we are live. All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing? Let's see. We got Delbert is here. JJ's here. DJ's in the house. Janet Murphy's here. Nostradamus. Welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is doing well. What is this? There we go. Okay. I don't know what the heck that was doing. All right. Sorry, I did not live stream yesterday. Something came up and I was not able to last night. So I said, well, I'll just live stream today. So here I am. Uh, There's Homesteader Eder. That's interesting. That's an interesting name. I like that. Oh, my goodness. Carol and Rocky are in the house. All right. So I figured you were still chasing the chicken that escaped. Oh, my God. That's funny. At final count on my potatoes, 360 pounds. That's awesome, Mary. That is very, very cool. Yeah, I think potatoes next year are definitely going to be one of the crops that are planted. I believe that we got next year's two major projects, if you want to call them major projects, but we will be finishing over the next few months. We will be finishing the pavilion and then working on the shower room. And once that is finished in the spring, the next two projects are going to be a greenhouse and then a root cellar. So we've talked about that as a group, and those are going to be kind of the priorities that we're going to work on. All these things are going to take time. Nothing is going to happen overnight. So there's still a lot of work to do on the pavilion. There's still a lot of work to do on the shower room. But we're going to just do what we can and get things as squared away as we can and kind of go from there. Clyde, you all right? I could not tell you how many times I have called Clyde Max already because that's a good question, JJ. He asked if I will do raised beds for the potatoes. I am not 100% sure exactly how I plan on going about exactly what we're going to do. When we do a greenhouse, it will be a partially underground greenhouse. So when we get the greenhouse going, anything that we're going to grow is going to be in a controlled environment. So we'll have to kind of see if we do that, underground when we get that going. So, but we'll see. But I had raised beds up in New York, obviously, as you guys know. And so, that worked up there. And Becky did real well with her gardens up there this year. And, they produced a tremendous amount, like especially cucumbers. For whatever reason, that area does very, very well with cucumbers. So, and certain things didn't do well this year because of bugs and stuff like that. So, again, those are things that it's a learning process, and that's why I try to explain to people, learn gardening now while it's not life and death, because if something fails, it's not going to cost you your life if something doesn't work. Hold on one second, guys. Really, kitties? I think I spend half of my time picking up after the cats, or cleaning up after the cats. It's a non-stop process that happens, unfortunately, but it is what it is. But they're still good cats. I like them. All right, so kind of give you a little bit of an update. The dog run, I did the door, as you guys saw. That green tea is on me. Well, thank you, RC Kev. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh no. So JJ, he says I only asked because I can't imagine doing potatoes in that rock hard mud and dirt. No, there is no growing anything here as far as that goes. I had a scab and I just picked it, and now I'm bleeding. So there we go. It's always something, guys. I tell you what. Well, I had gotten between the dogs and everything else. I got scabs. My arms are starting to heal. You can kind of, I don't know if you can see on that one. I got like over here, I got some scabs. That's from the dogs. So I've been picking, my scabs, of course. On my scab on my head, you can see that there is healed up now. So I pulled that off. I actually just shaved my head today. It was the first time in about 3-4 days that I shaved my head because that scab that I had on there, that one hurt pretty good. So anyway, but no, if any kind of growing that we're going to do is going to be in the soil that we create or we have brought in. As far as growing goes, we're not going to be trying to plant anything in this clay and rock that we have down here. So when we do the greenhouse, we will have like a load of soil brought in, and we will utilize that. The corn that I was growing didn't produce any corn yet. Corn is tough. There's enough other people growing corn that you can always go buy corn. So, that's kind of one of the things that I always looked at. But, I just, Becky even said they grew corn this year, which attracted raccoons, which they ended up having a lot of problems this year. They're working on fencing in the garden area. And, that was Bonnie that was behind me. I think she wants to go out. Hold on, guys. Seriously? The two of you? Okay. Go on. Go. All right, off you go. Go. Don't you tail. All right, that takes care of that problem. Now they're out. So, but anyway, so yeah, I mean, corn is going to attract raccoons. You're going to end up with raccoons if you're growing corn. And so that was one of the issues that they had up there. And of course, the raccoons got into everything else, not just the corn. So, but they're like in New York, I know that there is, fencing won't stop a determined hungry raccoon. Well, they're putting up a, I'll eventually show you when I head back up to New York again. I'll show you what they've done. But I know what you're saying, JJ. Yeah, fencing won't stop it. Well, they dispatched the raccoon that they had issues with, so that raccoon is no longer a problem. So that's the end of that one. But anyway, yeah, you have to be, with everything. You have to be real careful. How do you like your new truck? I like it a lot. No issues with it. I've really enjoyed it. It's nice having a truck again after not having one for a couple of months. But it makes a big difference being able to get stuff and get supplies. So you saw that I did the door for the dog run. One of the things today I did the door for the chicken run, which you will see in upcoming videos. Okay. And then what I'm going to be, and then also what I did today is I started continuing on with doing the chicken wire and laying the dirt down, and you'll see some upcoming videos of that as well. So right now I'm going to focus on the chicken run. So the door's done for the dog, so that was an issue, and so that one's going to work just fine the way it is right now. And then so now I've put my attention on working on the chickens, getting that run done, building on to the existing chicken coop or building a new one. Not sure how that's going to go yet, but we're going to get that squared away as well. So that's kind of where my attention is right now. And, you know, we'll be working on that. We're going to be doing, as far as like growing goes down here, just kind of give you guys an idea. We're going to be doing a compost bin where you're basically making your own soil. So we will be doing that as well. So there's a lot that we want to add. For someone with limited construction skills, you did a pretty good job on the dog gate door. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Like I said, I am not a carpenter. I don't claim to be a carpenter. Never said I was a carpenter. But I'm not afraid to jump in with both feet and do what needs to be done. And so, like I said, I built another gate today, and the gate today that I built does not have any cross bracing on it at all. It's strictly, there's no dogs going to be jumping on that one. Okay. So it's going to be strictly for the chickens. And, so you'll see that one in an upcoming video. But, it's just, you do what you got to do. And I'm not afraid to get out there and give it a shot, and if I screw it up, then it's on me. It's my money, going into the chicken run and the dog run. That's all on me. That's not a group project. That's my own personal projects that, I need to get done to take care of my animals. So, but we'll get there. But I made some good progress today, which, again, like I said, you'll see in upcoming videos. And there's one video coming up. I think that is Wednesday's video at 3 o'clock. I do have a disclaimer on that one that I do swear. So you will see that one as well. I put it up. I'm like, I don't care. I'll put it up anyway. It just shows things happen, and I'm a human being. And I just, like anybody else, I get frustrated and the words come out. Here's what I always told people. You will know that I'm angry when I'm angry. Now, I was frustrated, irritated today with what happened. I wasn't angry, but I was just irritated. But if I'm ever angry, really, really angry, every other word out of my mouth will be the F word. That's just kind of how it goes. That's just always how I've been. And I'm not making excuses, not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong. It's just, it is what it is. But anyway, I really just decided that I need to focus on getting things squared away here. There's projects that I need to do that I can control, that I can take care of. That's what's going to happen today. Starting today. I started today on that. And so I felt pretty happy with what I got accomplished today. Again, you do what you can. And when I get tired, I go, okay, that's enough of that, but overall, pretty pleased with everything and how it went. And, like I said, it's just going to take time. Everything's going to take time. But again, STD, right? Step thing a day. Working methodically at it, it's going to get done. I should have been done with that chicken run 2 months ago, but I put it off. I had other things. I just didn't do it. And so here we are now in September. And, first of all, anyway, happy Labor Day to everybody. I hope you guys had a good day. Everybody that had it off, I hope it was productive for you and you got some stuff done. And but I felt very productive today. And, I had done so I'll tell you what happened. I did the dog run door on Saturday, and I was out in the dead sun. I mean, like no shirt on, of course, got my bandana on, doing my thing. And I got a little bit too much sun, and I was feeling it. And so yesterday was a do nothing day. I did nothing yesterday. Was not feeling up to par to do a thing. So I got up today and I went, okay, today we get stuff done. And so like my first project today, what I did with the dog door, Larry, I ended up putting some more bracing on the backside where the dogs jump up on it. So you'll see that as well. Malachi's Corner said, Ed, I did take the AC out of the window in my shed. You're probably not going to need it for the rest of this year, is my guess. So that's not a bad thing. Happy Labor Day. Did you have some problems with the chicken run? It happens. Not problems. No, I don't think so. The only thing, Alex said, what do you think of the tensions between the United States and Venezuela? United States Navy military ships off the coast of Venezuela. That's all intimidation, Alex. We're not going to war with Venezuela. We're not going to war with Venezuela. That's just exerting our dominance, putting pressure on Maduro. That is, yeah, that's just going to be what it's going to be. That we're not going to war with Venezuela. But anyway, the door on the chicken run actually went very, very well after I had already obviously made the door for the dog run. I'm like, oh, I got this down now. And I did. I got it down pretty good. And the only thing that didn't work, the latch that I was going to use to lock the chicken run for the top of the door, it was not going to work. So I'm going to have to go and get another latch for that. But the hinges went in well. The handle went in. I got the handle in, and you'll see all that, like I said, in upcoming videos. But I was pretty happy. It went in smooth, nice and easy. I do have to dig out on this side of the door because the way that I got the door for the chicken run. It doesn't open in; it opens out. And because that whole area is like a gradual slope of a hill, I have to dig down a little bit. It opens and it's fine, but the weather is supposed to be a major cold for me. 7 states now. Yeah, they make their predictions. There's no guarantee of anything, Mimi. So we'll just have to kind of see what happens. We'll just have to see what happens. Oh, I just want to let you. I will be live streaming on Wednesday at 8 o'clock for everybody else. At 6 o'clock, I will be live streaming for hardcore members. So definitely look for me Wednesday if you're a hardcore member at 6 for the private live stream. If you would like to join us for that private live stream, you can. You just go to my main page, hit join, become a hardcore member, and then you can be part of that private live stream. But I just, like I said, I'm just trying to get things squared away and get things done. I mean, the days it's like already right now, it's almost dark outside and it's 8:16. You know what I mean? The days are getting shorter. We're into September. The temperature has definitely changed, and it's just the way it goes. But hey, Ed, I raised the door up on the chicken run a little so the snow or mud don't freeze and heave up so you can get it open. Oh, okay, thank you, Delbert. Yeah, it's the chicken run is actually easier. One of the other things that I did today with the dog run, that door on this side of it, I opened that up more, and it's all rock and stone, and it's just a pain in the behind. But yeah, before you know it, several feet of snow on the ground. Well, like I said, I have things that I have to take care of. I'm going to take care of my animals, and I'm going to make sure that they're safe, that they're comfortable, and that's right now is my priority. Those chickens, they're doing great. I'm really, really happy with the new hens that I got this year, and it's like I said, it just got to keep working at stuff and it slowly put it together. And then once those two things are done, then I can work on something else. I'm going to have to, I got the one weed eater here. Okay. And so I got to go out and buy a spool of wire or not, the stuff that you put on the weed eater. So I have to go buy a spool of that. And once I do that, then I will you'll see a big difference because I will be out here weed whacking and getting things kind of knocked down. It is what it is. It's just, this has been the kind of year it's been. My lawnmower, my riding lawnmower, is in the process of being fixed now. I know that Paul and Barbara are going to be bringing the Kubota down We got to get together in 2 weeks. So they will have the Kubota back here. I need a grass cutting again, obviously. So we'll do that, you know, but yeah, we'll just, like I said, we'll get things squared away. We'll get things done. And I'm not really too worried about it. So, you know, I just, if I do what I'm capable of doing and take care of what I need to take care of, we're going to be okay. And that's kind of what it comes down to. But I'm not looking forward to buying propane again all winter. You know, we haven't had to, but, and that's okay too. I mean, it's just, you know, it's part of the process. I would like to start working on building where I'm going to be next year. And so I know my spot that I want to be in. It's a matter of getting in there and getting it done, you know. So, but STD, step thing in day, Russell. It is one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. It's a mantra I've used. I actually have that tattooed on my back. Um, so it's just a mantra that I live by, because if you work methodically, so here's the thing, if you set realistic goals. Now, I didn't come out today and say, okay, this is what I'm going to get done today. I knew what I needed to do and what I need to work on, so I worked on it. Whatever I get done, that's something less that I have to do tomorrow. So it's methodically working at whatever project you're doing. You know, Rome was not built in a day, right? Not built in a day. It takes time. So, you know, Ed, with paying off the property soon, congratulations. Will you be building a place or buying a tractor first? Haha, right. No, I'm building a place first. Definitely building a place first. But like I said, again, you know, it's amazing how fast, you know, the time has flown, you know, with the property. I basically have a year to go to pay off the property, and it will be free and clear, which is awesome, you know. And so I'm excited about that. You know, it's what we've accomplished down here in the time frame since I've been down here. I'm really, really happy about that as well. It, like I said, again, you know, we started out with absolute, just like in New York, it was raw land in New York, guys. And it took me 8 years in New York to get where the New York property is today. So it did not happen overnight. And I'm okay with that. Now, am I getting older? Am I a little slower than I was, you know, 10 years ago? Yes, I am. But that's okay. I'm going to do what I can. And I'll tell you, you know, anybody out there that as you get older, you'll understand this. You can't go like you could go. Even 10 years ago, even, you know, at 50, I can't go like I could go at 50, let alone the way I could go at 40 or 30. You know what I mean? But I'm not an invalid. I can still do things. You know, I just have to rest more. That's just kind of how it goes. So we got 206 people in the chat, and we got 66 thumbs up, which is less than half. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And I appreciate that ahead of time. It really does make a huge, huge difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to hit all notifications as well. Midnight Man said, it's been a while since I heard the bunker mentioned. The bunker had been put on hold. To be honest with you, Bunker Man or Midnight Man, Bunker Man, I was going to say, the bunker has been put on hold for right now. We had other priorities that needed to be taken care of, and but the bunker is not something that we're giving up on or quitting on. We will definitely be working on the bunker as well moving forward. Like I said, there's a lot of things that need to get taken care of, and so you know, getting the pavilion squared away before it really gets cold. That's important right now, because when we have our get-togethers, if we have a place that we can all go into, have the wood stove, be warm, to be able to eat, and you know, and not be in the weather. Anybody that remembers, we started out with canopies outside of the camper here, and had a fire pit. and we're cooking outside in the weather, no matter if it was windy, snowing, raining, and it seemed like it was raining or snowing every time we got together. We did that outside until we got the pavilion built, and now it's a matter of finishing buttoning up the pavilion. So that's the process that we're working on right now. So, yeah, people slept in their cars. Exactly. And now we have, a lot of buildings on site. And, this year has been a process of getting wood stoves in, getting rain catchments set up. Those are priorities. And again, none of that is cheap either. If you go and look through the wall kit, you're looking at $500 just for the through the wall kit. Now go buy a wood stove on top of that. You got that going. And then your triple wall piping that you need to have. That's like $120 a section. So and you're looking at least 3 sections of that. So to put a wood stove in alone, not including the wood stove, you're probably looking at almost $1,000. So, and then if you go out and buy a $600 or $700 wood stove, now you're looking at almost $2,000 just for a wood stove. So I looked yesterday, and the money tree is not producing. I was really upset about that. I thought it would be doing better by now. So, it's just a methodical thing that has to be taken care of. You do things as you can, but we're getting there. So that's it's going to, like I said, it's before you know it, winter is going to be here. And when people go to bed at night, if they don't have a wood stove in their building, it can be chilly, and then you're looking at propane heaters and everything else. So I resolved the wire cutter issue by going and buying a new wire cutter. That's how I resolved the wire cutter issue. So yes, I did buy a new wire cutter. But hey, Ed, remember the road into the place? Couldn't hardly get in or out. Exactly, Delbert. We have put, and this is a conservative estimate, okay? Just a conservative estimate. I'm not even sure 100% how much we've put into the road, but I would say we've put in at least $18,000 just into the road. Just into the road. So, it's, and we put 2 more loads of gravel into the road this year, and we're probably looking at, I would like to try to put at least 1 more load of gravel into the road, and then get a stockpile of gravel to have, available to utilize later on for filling in potholes or whatever needs to be done. So yeah, it's, it ain't cheap, folks. None of it's cheap, and it all costs money, unfortunately. Yeah, and that's not counting labor. Exactly. So, but all of it is a process. I think we've made great progress. Are we as far along as I would like to be? Never going to be as far along as I would like to be. But if we just keep doing what we're doing, we're going to be okay. Like I said, there's a lot of work to do. We just got to focus on what we can control. And, and again, it's finances. Finance is your biggest drawback. But when I win the Powerball tonight, that will end the problems with that. Yeah, and the culvert as well. Yeah, that's that culvert nightmare, and now it is doing so much better. You know what I mean? It's I do need to go pick up some more Quikrete, which I will do as well. So I do have bolt cutters, but I didn't want to use those, trying to cut the fence. I'm not going to win the Powerball. Why not? I'm a believer in positive thinking. So if I feel like I'm going to win, then I'm going to win. I'll tell you what, that would take care of a whole lot of problems. You would see projects and you would see machinery down here. You guys would be like, oh my God, Prepper's lost his mind. It would be, yeah, things would get done real quick then, real quick. But hey, you know what? If you don't put in a couple bucks, you're never gonna find out. So Earl, you're not gonna win because I'm gonna win it. So because I'm gonna win it. Delbert said. See, it has to be me. I'm due. Yeah, the odds are ridiculous of winning it. It's what my thing has always been this. When it's this high like it is right now, of course it's fun to speculate and dream. What would I do if I won? And I would obviously take care of things that I needed to take care of here, and I would be in a position to help, and I would do a lot of help, and I would do it anonymously. I would not want the recognition. I don't need to be, I'll give you an example of something that up in New York, you have Strong Memorial Hospital, okay? And Golisano, who rich dude, donated a ton of money, like $50 million, to have them build a children's wing for Strong Memorial Hospital. Well, it's the Tom Golisano children's wing of the hospital. I don't need my name on something, as far as I go. If I had that kind of money, I don't need my name on anything. You can donate and you can do the right thing and you can take care of things the right way without having to, I don't need that pat on the back. And it's a good example of that is, I'm trying to think who it was that did it. And I read the story. Oh, I know who it was. Shaquille O'Neal. There was a young boy that was dying. He had some disease or whatever. And his family had asked, is there any way that Shaquille could talk to our son on the phone, and stuff like that, and so the coach had made some phone calls and, well, you know what Shaquille O'Neal did, and he did it with no fanfare, no media, no nothing. He didn't call the kid. He went to the hospital and he sat with this kid for a couple of hours, and to do that type of thing just to help somebody, that's amazing. It'll always be someone who don't need the money who wins the Powerball, Larry says. Not always. I mean, I've seen people win it, but you just never, you get people that'll piss it away, I mean, that's part of what happens, unfortunately. But that much money would cause problems, in my opinion. It can, if you let it go to your head, if you stay grounded. See, my thing is, you have, so let's go with $1 billion after taxes. Okay, you're bringing home about $400 million. That's what you're going to bring home. You're going to have everybody and your brother coming out of the woodwork that you ain't seen in forever with their hand open looking for something. Okay, and my opinion of it is this: if you were my friend before I won the money, then you are my friend afterwards. Anybody that came out of the woodworks looking for a handout, I would be really good at telling them to go F themselves. And then they could say, well, you're a bad guy and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I remember that guy in California sent it on hookers and cocaine. Yeah, I mean, but again, you could take a large chunk of that money, a large chunk. Let's even go with half. You could take $200 million, put it in the bank, let it gain interest, and live comfortably off the interest for the rest of your life and never touch that 200 million. With $400 million, you're going to piss away some of the money. Okay. You are that. No doubt you're going to piss away some of that money. Me personally, I would look to buy land. I would buy more land. I'd look for a big parcel to have, and I would definitely do that. And, I would build there for my family, and I would have my family down there with me. I would still have my group, but we would be a whole lot more squared away. What I would spend on underground would probably be a couple of million alone. Realistically, I would put in something underground that we would all be able to live comfortably for a very, very long time with no issues. But again, Would I piss away some of it? You better believe I would. In a freaking minute, I would definitely, I'd probably go out and buy a brand new truck. I would probably have this driveway paved where it's heated, so in the wintertime, it would be, all squared away and good to go. And if it snowed, the heated driveway would melt it right away and I would have no issue. I mean, but you just, realistically, if you won that kind of money, you would really need to sit down, figure out, be smart, talk to a good, accountant, get yourself squared away and be smart, because people piss away that money, guys. I mean, there's how many cases of people winning like ridiculous amounts of money, and then within inside of 5 years they're broke, right? Because they just went out there and they spent it, and they had nothing left. So again, it's just to me, that kind of money is world changing money. It's crazy money. So you could do a lot of philanthropy and really do a lot of good, so, but like that, you would literally have to take a moment and absorb the reality of having the winning ticket. Yeah, no kidding. Without having a heart attack. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I definitely, it would definitely be good. But like I said, again, food banks, all of a sudden, food banks might have a lot more food to give away. So, and you could do that. You could, I mean, imagine being able to give $10,000 or $20,000 to a food bank, and all of a sudden, man, they're just flush with food, and they have no idea where that money came from. That's the kind of stuff. I will tell you, one of the things I've always talked about, I would get a private investigator, and I would have that investigator look for people that were struggling, that were trying to get ahead, that weren't on a bunch of druggies looking to get over, none of that type of stuff. Somebody that was maybe a single mom, that had a couple kids that's really really trying. Okay, and I would find out what they needed, and the next thing you know, they might have a brand new vehicle and a brand new home, and they would never know where it came from. They would have no idea. That's the beauty of being in that type of position, that you could do stuff like that. So, and again, I don't need a mansion. I don't want a mansion. That's not what I would be looking to. These people go out and they buy these huge mansions, and oh, look at me, I'm so important. They buy all the jewelry and all that. I don't need none of that crap. I don't want it. I don't want it. So, but I've always thought about what I would do if I won something like that. And like I said, I think that I could make. Yeah, somebody has to clean that mansion. That's exactly right. But again, you got to be smart. So, but yeah, you'd have to worry about security. I mean, there's so much. Yeah, there's so much. But like I said, we'll that it's nice to dream about it when it's at this level. I actually had to go out today. I wasn't going anywhere today. I was just working on projects here. And all of a sudden this afternoon, I had said to Steve, because Steve was giving me a hand with a chicken run. I said, dude, I got to go down and get a couple lottery tickets, and he's like, yeah. He goes, me too. So we went down to the store. I got my lottery tickets, because I normally don't play, but for that kind of money, I'm going to throw $6 at it. It's not like, I'm all of a sudden go out there and spend $100 or something like that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to spend the same amount if it's that or if it's 50 million, so. And like I said, lately I haven't even really played at all, but at this level, when it's that level, absolutely, I'm going to throw a few bucks at it. So anyway, like I said, it's, what's the estimated payout? Right now, it's 1,100,000,000. So, and I'm sure it'll be higher before the drawing hits, because I'm sure everybody and their brother is out there buying tickets today. Now, we'll see what happens after the drawing tonight. Like I said, absolutely game-changing money. And somebody said, well, it'll probably be somebody in California. They seem to win a lot out there, don't they? So, but like I said, it's about time somebody from West Virginia, me, wins. Lump sum in Florida will be around 560 million. Right, but then you got to remember you're going to have to pay taxes on that 560 million. That's why I always say um, I would do that's why I always figure 40%. So I figure it would be 440 million. That's what you're going to walk away free and clear after all the taxes. After all the taxes, taking the lump sum, you're not going to get as much. And then the taxes that they hit you on, depending on what state you're in, you're going to probably walk away. And I'm sorry, I think I could adjust my lifestyle to 440 million. I could learn to adjust, and that would be okay. But like I said, it's fun to dream and speculate. But there's no need to put 200 million away. There's no way you can spend 440 million. People could. You would be surprised. I would definitely invest. A lot of that money. I would set up trust for my kids. Eddie, Heather, and Josh would all have a trust that they could only get so much at a time. So, but think about it. I would definitely have to have some. I would never see another winter again. I'll tell you that right now. So I would have some place, maybe in Florida, where I would go in the wintertime. Something like that. Who knows? But like I said, I don't even know. I don't even know what I would do, to be honest with you, with all of it. But it could go quick if you're not smart about it. And like I said, you're going to have everybody and their brother knocking on your door looking for a handout. There's and again, West Virginia is one of those states where you can do it anonymously. And I absolutely would. I would not want to be putting that out there and have my picture and all that type of stuff. No, I wouldn't want to do that at all. So I would want to be very anonymous. I would tell who I wanted to tell, but I would try to keep it as low key as I possibly could, because I wouldn't want everybody and their brother, coming out looking for that handout. So, no, like I said, I would add to my land. If I could, buy land around me, I would buy land around me, and I would get my family and build houses for everybody on the property for them, and they could live here. So there would be signs that I won. I may not come right out and say I won, but there would definitely be signs. Hey, look, Prepper Nurse One got a new tractor. Wow, look at that new house that Prepper Nurse One built. And like I said, again, is for me, for a house, 20 by 40, it would still be the same. I don't need a 6,000 square foot mansion with this, that, or the other thing. I don't need nothing like that. So, but, like I said, who knows? But, new helipad, right? Right, yeah, right. Have my own helicopter. But again, now you're talking, that could be like huge money really, really quickly to do something like that. But like I said, you just have to be careful that if you won that, it's got to be smart. So, and people aren't, that's why a lot of people, when they win, they piss through it like, crap through a goose, because they're not used to having money. The reason they don't have money is because of decisions they've already made, but bring everybody up and have a cookout, right? Right. Rent the state park for the day. Oh no, my chickens would be squared away. My dogs would be squared away. Like I said, all those things. I don't, like I said, I don't need big and fancy. I definitely would have a brand new truck, something. And like I was talking, I said, get a diesel truck, right? And then I'd get like a 5,000 gallon tank and have that here and ready to go. You know what I mean? I mean, I would still prep, but I would be seriously prepped. And like I said, again, what I would spend underground, that would be a lot. There would be an absolute huge amount of stuff going on underground. So, but all right, we're gonna have, yeah. Somebody said it's egg count time, so we're not gonna do pullet eggs anymore because the eggs are starting to get bigger. So what we're gonna be doing, so real quick again, we got 217 people in the chat. We got 121 thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. It really does make a huge difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction, again, the better. So I do appreciate that as well. Also, guys, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. Now, with the egg count today, what we're going to be doing, it's the number of eggs total. We're still going to do yes or no for Miss Betty White. And thirdly, we have the 3 Easter eggers. So they're laying the green eggs. So how many eggs total did Betty White lay, yes or no? And how many of the Easter eggers? So that's all we're doing as far as that goes, as far as egg count. So 14 total hens, and we'll go from there. So go ahead and put your guesses up, and we will go from there. And I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in, and we'll see what happens. So we'll do that, and I'm going to take a sip of green tea. But I will tell you, when I was building the door today for the chicken run, they were all lined up in front of the pen, and they were just watching, which was hilarious. I mean, it was absolutely hilarious. So I'll give you guys just one more minute here, and then we will go from there, and we'll do the egg count. So we do have a correct guess, which I wasn't sure if we were going to. And the correct person that got the guess right today is Malachi's Corner, or Kim. And no, she was not here today. She left out early this morning, so she had no idea, but she did get the right guess. We had 9 eggs today. Yes for Miss Betty White, and 2 of the 3 Easter eggers laid today. So it was 9, yes, and 2. So congratulations to Malachi's Corner. You had the correct guess today, which I was surprised anybody was going to get it, to be honest with you. So congratulations to Kim. You are the winner. So, but I was real happy. I got 9 eggs yesterday, 9 more today. So yes, you've won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. So there we go. Yeah, guys, I'll tell you, Ed, when you were cleaning the coop the other day, I liked to cracked up with the Great Chicken Escape. Yeah, right. Yeah, they're funny. They're funny. Did they all tell you were doing it wrong? LOL. Congratulations on the egg count. It's funny. When I made this door, I said there's going to be people that are going to criticize, and I know it, and that's okay. But my thing is this: please show me your videos of how you did it the right way. I never have ever claimed to be a carpenter, not in a million years, but I'm not afraid to go out there and do the best I can. I wing it, 9 times out of 10. Whenever we're doing a project like the pavilion or something like that, I will definitely go to Rob or Mark. And when Ronnie was here, I would talk with them first. They are the guys that really have more skills when it comes to building. So I'm going to, divert to them because, that's what you should do. When you have somebody that knows how to do it better than you let them run the show on that project, So the chicken run and all that, that's my baby. I'm not asking group members to help me take care of that. I need to do that on my own. And obviously Steve is here. So I asked him to give me a hand, and and he did. So, and we're going to be working on that again tomorrow. So, but yeah, I just my husband made a cool chicken coop. I should make a video. He's not a carpenter. Well, I mean, like up in New York, guys, who did I have help me a lot when it came to the carpenter stuff? Greg, because Greg was a carpenter and still is a carpenter. So you're gonna always, here's what I'm great at. Okay, when somebody knows what they're doing, I'm great for this. What do you want me to do? You tell me what to do, and I'll do it. I have absolutely no problem with that, because if I'm doing something, I'm learning, number one. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. If any projects that you've seen us do here over the years, even here, I'm right in the mix. Now, and I always love this. This is what I always thought was funny. People are like, well, how come, you're not doing stuff? All you're doing is filming. I have to stop to make the video, to give you guys content. So, and that's why I just started. A lot of times I'll set up the tripod, put the camera on the tripod, and just go ahead and do stuff. And that's, that way nobody can say, well, he's not doing anything himself. He's having everybody else do it, and whatever else they say. And I just, I don't care what people say. I don't care what they say, because they're not here, And I don't mind constructive criticism. I have no idea. How long have you lived there? I've had the property now 4 years. So, yep, 4 years already, which is amazing to me. It's gone by very, very fast. Hey, there's Village Homestead. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it's gone by very, very fast. And like I said, again, there's a long way to go. We got a lot of stuff we want to do and get done, but it's come a long way in a short period of time, and we're going to get there. I will tell you, and I'm going to be 100% honest here. Okay, part of me a lot of the times goes, man, I just wish SHTF would happen. Let's just get it on and get it over with. That's part of me. Okay, I'm being honest. The other part of me goes, we're not ready enough yet. Now, are we ready than the average bear? Absolutely. I think that we would, you are doing something important. You are showing viewers how it's being done. Oh, no, I appreciate that. But part of me goes, we need to be more ready. And so that's one of the reasons, like this year, when we sat down in January, and I said to my people that are here, we need to get wood stoves in. We need to get rain catchment set up. Got to get those things done. I remember when you set up the dome thing at your other place. Yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah, that was a long time ago already. Time goes by fast, guys. It's not going to stop, And to me, if we just continue to do what we're doing and methodically working at what we're doing, each month we're in a better place. And that's what it comes down to. So anything I can get done in between, it just makes it easier when the time comes. I mean, the last thing we want to worry about, let's say SHTF has happened, and now we got to worry about getting the chicken run finished, and doing that on top of everything else that we're going to need to be doing. So if I can get these projects done and get them knocked out, then they're out of the way and I don't have to worry about them again. Do you plan on putting a gate at the main entrance of your homestead? I don't think so, JJ. Because the reality is, if things do go sideways, all we got to do is drop a few trees and nobody's getting in anywhere. So, that's kind of where we're at with that one. And then, but right now that's not, again, it's priorities. What's the priority? So, once we get the pavilion done, once we have the shower room done, the next project is going to be a greenhouse. Once the greenhouse is done, and we're going to work one project at a time after these two things are done. Once the greenhouse is done and up, then we work on a root cellar. to be able to store a lot of stuff underground in a temperature control area. I do want to continue to work on the bunker as well. That's another thing that has to be done. So, yeah, if you guys got any questions, please all cap lock so it stands out for me better. But, like I said, the rational part of me realizes we need more time. Okay. We need more time. But the part of me that's frustrated with our society and everything that's going on makes me go, let's go while I'm still young. And not that I'm young anymore, but while I'm still capable, so that's part of it too. But, I would rather have the time to get things the way we really want them to be here. And like I said, we got a lot of things that we need to do that we should be doing. And, so that's kind of where we're at right now, but we'll get there. We will get there. And it's like I said, it's time, money, and just working together. And, like this get together coming up, we got to get, like Jamie and Dawn got to get their rain catchment set up. Roy will be down this month. And so, he's got his wood stove in there already. So we got to get his rain catchment set up. And, and it's just that methodical, just banging stuff out. So do you think a peace or ceasefire will ever happen for Ukraine? That's a good question, Alex. I think that it will. They got to just, they got to play their little games that they're playing, and decide, it's, if that does happen, we will have a very much stronger influence of what's going on in Ukraine. That's kind of where I'm at with that one. I honestly see, like I said, the whole minerals things, and our guarantee of Ukraine's safety. Those are big things for that peace deal to come together. Obviously Russia doesn't want big bases in Ukraine, and I totally understand why they don't. We wouldn't want a foreign enemy, a potential enemy, like to have bases in Mexico or in Canada. We would not be happy about that. We wouldn't want that to happen. So, you got to look at it from that perspective as well. So, it's realistically, if Russia had wanted to, they could have swept through Ukraine very, very quickly. But again, it's all about money, at the end of the day. And, the more bombs that we can make and use and ship off, and they're using, and extend that war out as long as we possibly can. Marquis, or was it Lockheed Martin? I think they've done very well with Israel and with Ukraine and all that type of stuff. They're just in their happy place, and that's what it's about at the end of the day. They don't care about human life, realistically. So that's kind of a sad thing, but that's just the way it is. Just look what happened during the Cuban Missile Crisis. We certainly did not like Russia that close to us. Exactly. And it's the same thing. So you got to look at it from that perspective from Russia. They don't want UN bases in Ukraine. They don't want Ukraine to be part of, the United Nations and joining that. So, and that's understandable. So what do you do? So it's just, they will eventually come to some kind of an agreement. In stuff in Israel. Israel's ramping up and are getting ready to go back on attack mode. They were steamrolling. Israel was steamrolling through, over there in the Gaza Strip. And then all of a sudden they just stopped. Think about that, guys. They just stopped and said, okay, we're going to stop here. And then you let them catch their breath? No way. No way. You have to basically, in a situation like that, you got to realize all those hostages are probably dead. But you make them pay. You make them pay for doing that. And you just steamroll and end it. And that's it. But they don't want to do that because it's all a game. The more bombs that we can drop and, and all that type of stuff and all of it, it's just, it's nonsense. You know, if you're going to have a war, go in and do what you got to do, period. End it. Get it over with. But they don't, because it's all a big game, you know, and it's been that way forever. So I don't know, like I said. But so just so you guys know, I will be live streaming again Wednesday night. So look for me then, and we will go from there. Like I said, I'm just going to be really banging stuff out here. That's what I want to do. And so that's what I am doing. And I will continue to do that. So, and get ready for winter. So I'm very excited. Anyway, guys, hey, Ed, can you say, hey, Tess, I know I have found the right spot. All right. Well, hey, Tess, how you doing, hon? Yep, you found the right spot, Tess. Who painted the painting behind me? Okay, yeah, I'll show you this real quick. Now, this painting here, guys, it was a request by me to my neighbor. Actually, let me go. There we go. All right. So, my neighbor's an artist, the one that I had up in New York. Her name is Audrey, and I asked her. I like how our lane up there, in the like with the trees. I said I would like you to paint for me the lane with all the trees in fall color, and the father walking with the two children down the road, because obviously it's Eddie and Heather and myself. And so she did that, and it came out beautifully. Really, really happy how that came out. She's a fantastic artist, and I've tried to get some of her other stuff that she's done. And she wouldn't sell it to me because she liked that. What the one painting that she had done, and that's a painting. She painted that. The one painting that she had done was just phenomenal. So I really, really liked it. It was like a lighthouse and stuff, but she wouldn't sell it. So I was like, ugh. But no, very, very good. Yeah, if there's no live stream on Wednesday, you'll know that I won the Powerball tonight. If all of a sudden Prepper Nurse One goes ghost, doesn't make any more videos, that's a sign. All right, guys. Listen, again, remember STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one stopping you from accomplishing your goals is going to be you. That's it. Set realistic goals and then set about to making them happen. Work at it methodically, and you'd be amazed at what gets done. All right, guys, I'll talk to you all later. Have a great night. Bye.